What is good, guys? We're back again. Football's around the corner. Fantasy's around the corner. We all can't wait. We got a good show for you guys. Tim is back. Josh is back. We also got us here. Cooper is here, guys. James Cooper. We got a great show for you guys. I guess I'm going to turn it over to Tim. What's good?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? We have a good show. Let's get it popping. Antonio Brown. We all know he's, if not top three, the top. He is the best receiver in the NFL currently right now. He's making about $8 million per year versus versus Demaryius Thomas, who's making about 14 to 15 million per year. So we all know he deserves that. He deserves a new contract and a new deal. Now, he's not the only one looking for that contract. You're going to have young receivers like Odell Beckham, who is a top receiver, and see what he's going to get. Everybody looks at each other. It's all about numbers. The only thing is with Antonio Brown, fellas, is that he's 28 years old. It's not like you'll be 25, 26, 20. He's 28 years old. So how can you manage that?
James, I'm going to have to mute you, James. All right, go ahead. James, I had to turn down your volume. Okay, go ahead, Tim.
Nah, it's all good. Nah, so you know this is my thing, fellas, is that he's making less money. He's the top receiver in the NFL. We all know he's gonna try to get a deal, but we're talking about an organization also that doesn't believe in giving out big contracts. I mean, what can you give Antonio Brown at 20 years old? You know, we all know he's going for that max.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not? He's obviously the best wide receiver in the game right now, if not top 2 or 3, arguably. So, I don't know from his standpoint what he believes in with the ownership or how much of a relationship he has with them. But this is I believe it's kind of like a ballsy move on his part. You know, trying to put your trust and ownership in GMs. Like we've seen how that plays out in the past when players try to put their faith in the ownership and the business itself. This is exactly why players hold out. It's their business aspect to get the money they deserve. So if Antonio is saying, "Oh, I'm confident, something will get worked out by the beginning of the season. Whatever, I'll go to training camp. I won't hold out." I mean, that's very respectable on his behalf, but at the same time, I don't know if that's hurting him because they're seeing that he's going to be, respectable come to camp. They won't really be rushing to rework that contract too much, I think.
Right.
If he were to hold out, I obviously think they would do it a lot faster and start getting that pen to the pad a little bit quicker than what they are. Shawnee, you might have to turn Cooper up again.
Sorry. Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, work deals like that. He's got 2 years left on his deal. So the Pittsburgh Steelers don't normally do that. They didn't do it for Ben. Why would they do it for him? You know what I mean? And also, I just wanted to also add, Tim, I saw how you put out DT's contract, but you ain't saying it about Dez's. Dez makes the same amount of money as DT.
No, I did. I put out that.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. We can
okay, I didn't hear it. I must have been muted.
I said 14 to 15 mil per year. Dez and Demaryius Thomas.
Okay, I just heard Demaryius Thomas. My bad. I apologize. Yeah.
Listen, the thing is this. Also, Julio Jones. Matter of fact, Julio Jones he was the latest who got his contract redone. He's making 71 mil than what Dez and Demaryius Thomas is making. So we all know. Not only is Antonio Brown looking for this new deal, we all know the receivers who are about to contract-wise, about to come up with their market, also looking at Antonio Brown. The only two in my book only, not trying to disrespect the other one, is either Odell and DeAndre Hopkins. Those are the two guys that I believe are going to be the two really looking hard at his contract to say, you know what, we've been doing just as good as Antonio Brown. We could go ahead and try to get what he gets. So it's everybody's looking at that. But Antonio Brown does deserve that money.
But they they haven't been doing as good as Antonio Brown though. Odell hasn't.
You know what? I'll tell you this.
He's been in production wise. He's been a tick below.
I gotta say this. You can have all the talent in the world, but there are things you can't teach. Odell Beckham, you know, there's no disrespect to any Giant fans. I'm not trolling. I'm just keeping it very real. The things the extra things that he's able to do on the field, you can't teach that. It's only, you know, you have good receivers who come in the league, but then there are special ones. There are ones that during crunch time, during a special situation, they can do the things that you don't see others do. So when it comes to Odell, the first 2 years, we talking about the first 2 years, not the last 3 or 4 like Antonio Brown. The first 2 years, to me, are just as good as Antonio Brown's last 2 years. And another thing on top of that is we're talking about a New York Giants team with just Odell and nothing else. No Victor Cruz, no nothing. So that was the 1-2 punch right there. At least with the Steelers, you had a running game, a consistent running game, and you have Antonio Brown and Martavis Bryant. The Steelers have more weapons for Antonio Brown could do more things than what the Giants have at those 2 years. Now, if it's going to come down to Odell's stats now, this year it may dip because now you got Victor Cruz and you got Shepard. So they, you know, there's argument numbers there. The ball would be spread around. But let's keep this real. The first 2 years, look what he's able to do with no help around him between Eli and him. That's just the truth.
So real quick, Tim, I apologize. I don't mean to cut in, but you're saying that his numbers are going to dip, right? Because he has all these weapons, but at the same token, you turn around and you say Antonio. Hold up. But you turn around and you say Antonio Brown, you know, is the best in the game, and he's putting up all of these crazy stats. But you said they have more weapons. So I don't get it. Like how could Odell's production dip? I don't get it.
I'm glad you asked me that, man, because Josh, you're my mate witness, Josh. Didn't next year I said that Odell Beckham Jr. is a top 5 receiver in his second year?
Yeah, you argued he was probably even better than Antonio Brown. I'm pretty sure me and Cooper said AB was still better. Did you hear that, Coop?
No, yeah, I agree. That's exactly what happened.
All right, so this is what I'm saying now. I'm giving Antonio Brown the love because look, he's been in the league longer. But I do recognize, and I'm saying it right now as a Cowboy fan, Eli Manning and Odell show is only them two versus Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Ben Roethlisberger, all those guys. Now, the thing is, I believe Antonio Brown is the best receiver right now, but I'll say Odell's the most talented.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong in saying that.
Listen, Antonio Brown.
That doesn't necessarily, just because he has the most talent doesn't make him the best in the league.
Yeah, unfortunately, the players go by the stats, and that's their argument point for how they argue their dollars. So Antonio, he can easily use the receptions and the yards. I mean, it's not even like a lawyer case here. Antonio just puts down his damn fantasy points, whatever. I mean, the guy is just a reception monster, and he's probably poised to, break the receptions in a season next year. Marvin Harrison's record. I can see that happen. So, I mean, regardless, he needs to get his contract. He needs to be top 3. Even if he is the number 1 receiver, he needs money to be top 3. And it's insane because right now with the contract he's on, I think I saw a tweet earlier from Mike and Mike that said there's 25 other wide receivers currently paid higher or has a higher contract than Antonio Brown. That's nuts.
He's only making $43 million, $8 million per year. That's it. T.Y. Hilton making more money. T.Y. Hilton is making more than him. He doesn't deserve it. My man from Seattle is making more money than him. He's a good receiver, but he's not Antonio Brown. There's a lot of receivers making.
Hey, who is this guy you took on? Who you took on? Baldwin.
Baldwin. That's correct.
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. I agree.
We can't argue that. So this is. But the scary part is like Cooper just said earlier. The Steelers don't really do contracts until the last year of your deal. You don't be doing them 2 years before. But Antonio Brown knows that by the time his last year of his deal, he'd be 29 years old. Who's gonna pay a 29 to a 30-year-old receiver max money like that? That's why he's asking for the money now, because the NFL goes by age too. Now, if you're 23, 24, and I got you for a good 5 to 7 years, I'm gonna throw it at you.
Yeah.
But so.
And he's a receiver that doesn't miss games either. That's another crucial point to his resume. He doesn't miss games.
Exactly. Right. So I mean, listen. The smartest thing is to re-sign him so he can basically walk out the building with Big Ben whenever they decide they don't want to come back to work no more. That's the reason why you got to do it now. Because again, they both reaching the age part where okay, we're gonna give you this and you got like 3 years worth. But at the same time, DeAndre Hopkins and Odell, who's in that top 5, top 7 range, are going to be looking at that.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Antonio Brown is a damn energizer bunny. I can see this dude running like full 100% speed for the next 5 to 6 years. So I agree, Tim. They need to lock him up now rather than wait until the final year of his contract.
Right. One important thing that when you were naming the stats, you said he's going to get his catches and his yards. At least I find it very important. That Antonio is probably, if not the best, one of the top 2 or 3 getting first downs. That first down yardage, he's like seriously. A first down machine, and that keeps offenses going. And I think that, to me, that's just as important as touchdowns, because if you don't get that first down, you're not going to get a touchdown. You continue to play.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the only thing I see, and I keep saying, the only thing about Antonio Brown that I find as a weakness, he's not a guy in the outside they go over the top, unless he's not going through that.
Right.
That's his weakness. This is why I said earlier, and I said last year too, that's the difference between him and Odell Beckham. The outside part. Mm-hmm. That if you cannot work the outside as good as the inside, I'm sorry, it's not really that. It's a weakness.
So you trying to say he's not a complete receiver?
He's not. In my opinion, I'm the Steelers. Okay. If I'm the Steelers, I'm not giving him the money.
All right, guys. I think that we said has all been said. Is there any last thoughts? I mean, I know that
I'll play for Martavis Bryant. Hopefully they can give Mr. Jerry Jones a call and see if they can work out something.
Josh, you've been a little quiet on the subject. Any last thoughts?
No, just pay the man. He needs his money. And I hope that holdout works for him, or the non-holdout works for him, I should say.
And that's the same thing what Jamie Jackson said on the wall. Any last words, Coop?
Yeah, I just hope that he gets his money too. I mean, he's the best in the game, and I know Pittsburgh. Tim always saying the Giants don't pay nobody. I mean, you better look at Pittsburgh. They don't pay nobody.
I just said that. I mean?
So.
All right. That's the end of this quarter.
Oh, okay. Phone to my ear because I don't have my earpiece.
That's the end of this quarter. We'll be right back in a few, folks. Stay tuned.
I'm cold cuts for Cooper today.
Cold cuts for Cooper?